I'm so glad that somebody pointed out that Russell Coleman is planning to blow $2 million out the window on an exploratoire. That's just a way of saying, we're not going to do anything. We're going to, but then being with Denny Kildare, they know how to throw money out the window. As I always say, transparency at City Hall is, let's open the windows and throw money out. That's transparency, or you get them washed. There's no transparency, no democracy. But anyway, we have a plan, which apparently none of my colleagues know about. We're looking at taking the north end of Loyola Park, you know, where you've got fielding at the north end, and ripping it up, the south lane, because the north lane is wide enough. It's the same width as... Oh my God, I thought it was a snake for a second. The north side is the same width as Summerled, wide enough for parking on both sides and two-way traffic. So what we're planning to do, the director and I, of course Russell wouldn't know because he just has to do what Denny Kildare tells him to. Absolutely impotent, powerless, because he's on the executive committee.
Is that
right? Which was the word? You didn't like impotent, you didn't like powerless. And, so the next words are the following. So naturally, Russell doesn't have a clue what's going on in the planning stage in the borough. We're planning to build an entirely new community centre at the north end of Loyola Park after we rip up Fielding and we make Fielding part of the median there, and we increase the size of the park by approximately 30%. But why? Well, who would bother to tell Russell Coleman about this? He's not involved. He's on the executive committee. He's just said to take the cash. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Drain.
On doit commencer de mettre pression sur l'hôtel de ville pour réaliser que Notre-Dame-de-Grâce a des espaces pour construire des développements pour des centres communautaires, mais on doit les faire avec des intentions pour mettre plusieurs de groupes ensemble dans une grosse locale. Ça va être un investissement pour vie pour la ville, mais c'est la façon la plus rapide d'avoir beaucoup de groupes avec un problème de moins. I can't make things happen with the snap of my fingers, obviously. But with realistic options, we can make things happen with good planning. For instance, NG Food Depot has been around for many, many years. And all of a sudden, they're in a new location, which is in the Loyola district. So their problem was that they had to move out and so forth. So now they have a new 3-year lease, but this is not a new home for them because they'll probably be gone in 3 years. So imagine, they've been around for many, many years and they still do not have a home in our borough. We also have the New Hope that is also running under the church of, it's on Godfrey if I'm not mistaken, that run Meals on Wheels for seniors in our borough, especially in Loyola district. They help the community seniors with food and events for them. So they get little to no money from the municipal government as well, which these communities need the money and need a full housing unit. We could also ask the borough mayor to reduce the business taxes for the community centers that they receive, if they receive, so that they could use the rent money that they save for the community centers. We could also have a district fund that would take 1% from the business taxes that will go to the community centers that would need the help for maintenance, or that would help produce supplies and renovations on the inside. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Harrison.
Quand on parle de l'espace public, comme je vous ai mentionné au début, pour moi, l'espace communautaire, c'est une autre angle. It's two sides of the same coin. We're talking about very similar things. I think it's unfortunate that we live in a borough where the NDG Senior Citizens Council has offices outside of NDG because there's no space. I think it's tremendously disappointing that we live in a borough where not one, not two, but 3 community centers serving disadvantaged children, largely disadvantaged children, are threatened with closure due to financial difficulties or because they can't renew their leases. We are a wealthy community in Loyola, in Côte-des-Neiges NDG, and I think our neighbors, our fellow residents and fellow citizens, deserve better than this. I think one of the issues here is a communication one. Again, going back to AGM season, I heard from many groups who felt like they were often late to hear about initiatives from the borough. Consultations, being invited to consultations that ended up being more like information sessions, a one-way conversation. I want to turn this into more of a two-way discussion between the community sector, local residents, and the borough. And while an exploratory committee for a new recreation center, a new community center, I'm sure that'll be great in 5 or 10 years. I look forward to it. But many of these centers need saving now. Many of these centers need an action plan for the next 1 to 3 or maybe 5 years. So while I'm looking forward to new community facilities, I think we also need to ensure that they have a home and don't have to close their doors anytime soon.
Thank you very much. Mr. Clark.
Yes, thank you for the question. And what concerns me most of all is that when we talk about the support for community services, for community centers, when each organization have to go to the city and sort of ask or require that support from the mayor and the boroughs, it seems to me that it's not a package. It's something where each mayor has that obligation, but it's part from their discretionary fund. It's not something like the overall view or vision that how do we now develop that community need? How do we look at the overall community? And where do we now spend that money? I think that we need to improve the funding for community services and make sure that the buildings and churches are accessible to the growing needs of the community. And it's by saying that, we're simply talking about the powers, the new powers that the city have. And the new powers for provincial government also states that the city will have that obligation, that right, to really fix and repair and make sure that those buildings that's been deteriorated is maintained. So it's not a question simply closing Walkley and building a new center. When you remove Walkley from the community itself, you're removing a great deal, something that is proximity of services to those people in need, and you transform it somewhere else. I think it's best to work within the community because there are many churches and many buildings that, you know, at one point talking about the code, it's not $10 million to bring up the code, but it's to really work with those buildings because the obligation is there and the powers are there right now. So I think we need to really work with that to improve the services, to proximate the services that each member of the community, whether it's the seniors and the children with need, and not just move them somewhere else and build a new center or something that's new. I think we need to look and be very concerned about that.
Thank you very much. And now we'll begin our public question period. Maintenant la période de questions publiques. The next hour or so is going to be for you. So we'll move forward to questions. I have chosen the first 3 names here. J'ai choisi les premières 3 noms. And I would ask you to come to the front of the room. Vous pouvez vous approcher au micro. Gardez vos questions très brèves, le moins de préambule que possible. Please keep your questions brief. And with as little preamble as possible so that we may hear the candidates. I would also ask that you choose 3 candidates to answer. Vous pouvez choisir 3 candidats au maximum. Juste assurer qu'on peut